All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again on another episode of Dylan Builds a Web App that he's been dying to build forever. So, what we're going to be doing today, we'll get to in just 1 second. But before we do that, let's do a nice plug of my latest course. This course is brought to you by the 100 Front-End Interview Questions Challenge, where its goal is to get you up to date so you can kill those technical front-end screens with 100 questions gathered from a series of developers, including myself, with over 30 years of front-end experience, as well as tips and tricks to help you ace those interviews. Give you some tips like salary negotiation, resume tips, cover letter tips, lots of cool stuff in there. You can get it for just $9.99, believe it or not, using coupon code CodingGod. Check it out in the description below. All right, so that's my shameless plug. All right, so what I want to do today, let's go ahead and launch everything. What I want to do today is I have a couple things. One, I want to build a vertical tab component. It's not really going to look like this. Not really. But I want to build essentially the container of it. Two, I want to start designing the support page. I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like quite yet, but let's go ahead and get this going. Open up our video docs. Run our test. In the bottom here, cue the music. Launch our project. What's going on, Code Poppy? Alright, cool. So, oh man, I feel drained. I spent 5 hours trying to debug some issue and I can't figure it out. It's some sort of infinite loop in my application today. And it's working in the production branch, but it's not working in my branch, so it's definitely something I did. I have no idea what it is. So fun times. Alright, cool. So all our tests are green, which means everything's... Oh, 92 tests! Look at that, man. That's not too shabby. What were we doing last time? For some reason... No, I think we got the test in there. I was going to say, for some reason, I think we forgot to put the test in there. But we didn't, did we? Alright, do we want to jump straight into vertical tabs? I think so. So, in our shared views here, in category, we're going to create a new component here. And we'll call this vertical dash tabs. New file. I think I've been watching too much Jay Fluke, man. Every time I watch Joshua Fluke, I think about quitting my job. I'm like, yeah, man. Every corporate cringe video, I'm like, you're right, dog. We should definitely just all pave our own way. Then I'm like, nah, dog, not yet, you know. He gets me hyped though, so I agree with most of what he's saying. My first dev job starts Monday. From truck driver to web dev. Good on you, man. You get a nice fat raise. Like, not only when you go from a... I'm guessing if you're a truck driver, most truck drivers don't deliver local. But you probably not only got a nice raise, but you also... If I had to guess, you probably also get to stay, closer to home, right? Good stuff. You did in 10 months? Very nice. Dedication, hard work. So I don't know. You're probably starting around 60,000 if I had to guess. Maybe you got started off higher. It happens. What are you starting around 60? $10K raise, very nice. Now, so that puts you probably around 60. I think truck drivers typically make like 45 to 55, although I think you can work overtime. So just know it's just the beginning, man. You can double your salary in 2 years if you put the time in. Oh, see, you're doing fine. 50K, you'll get to 100K in 2 years if you just keep grinding. That's what I tell Thomas. I tell you every day. Every day people think I'm kidding when I say code every day until you have a fucking job. Like, if you're able to follow that, you'll be alright. That's the truth of the matter. If you're able to follow that, you can do it. Yeah, man, I'm slowing down. April's getting sick of me grinding so much. I have like maybe 1 more year till I'm at 5 years of grinding every day. And she's sort of asked me to come on home, like it's like, hey baby, what about us? You know what I'm saying? I was like, 1 more year, baby. Just give me 1 more year. I can get there. It's not easy, man. It's not easy to see this hotness and be so not able to touch it, Like good on you, Thomas, man. Keep up the good work, man. All right, so vertical tabs component. Yeah, I'm slowing down in my old age, man. I can be honest with myself. That's why you gotta do it now, man. That's why you gotta do it now. Alright, so we're gonna have a title, we're gonna have a description, we're gonna have a subtitle, we're going to have a list of... Actually, we're gonna have a title, then we're gonna have an array of values. And we'll start there. So let's start with the model. New file. Vertical dash tab model.ts. One second. I'm just thinking. But yeah, man, it's it'll get you every time though, man. As long as you move forward, you'll get there. So I'm telling you. Like, my goal is to hit 250K salary. That's my goal, right? That's what I want to get. Like income. I shouldn't say salary. 250K take home income. Is that something that's going to be hard? Yeah, man. Is that something I'm going to do overnight? No, man. Is it something I'm going to do? Yeah. What language? JavaScript, TypeScript. So. It's never easy, man. Nothing worth doing ever is. It's definitely worth it. Okay, so I was just looking for something real quick. Alright, cool. So let's start. Let's go ahead and go to our category page real quick. And just at the top here. Right below header, we'll go ahead and inject app-vertical-tabs. My girlfriend would tell me on that suck-ass days, remember the pizza coder? That's a term of endearment, though, Dylan. Hey, man. I'm not ashamed. Look, bro. Start from the bottom, now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Started from the bottom, now I'm here. We all gotta start somewhere, man. Alright. Anyone who's ashamed of their past didn't grow. Unless you did some shady stuff. But if you did some shady stuff. But honestly, like, as an individual, how do I want to set this up? As an individual, you just have to understand, like, part of your past makes you grow, right? Dude, that's exactly what I read. Thomas Rio. Negative role models, man. Negative role models are the strongest thing in my life. Alright, what are we gonna call this? Alright, so that'll be our tabs container. Our tab will have a header. And then in our header, we'll pass in a tab.title. Alright, so what we need to do real quick is go make a tab model. Okay, so actually, this will be title. This will be a string. We'll initialize this to be empty. And then in here, pass in title. Oops. And then in our category component.html, all right, cool. Yeah, it's man, it's hard to grow, but it's good for you. All right, so first thing we're gonna have is a div. In our div, we're gonna have a UL. Actually, we don't even need div. We'll just make UL the container UL. LI. Alright, so our LI here is going to be our actual tab item. So our tab, so a public, what do we want it to be? So public I guess it really depends. Which alright, so we'll call this name? Label. Let's do this label. Should be a string. We also will have a description. Should be a string. And then public subheading, which will be a string. Alright, keep up the good work, man. Let's go back to our tab.model. So we're also going to get public icon classes. Should be a string. All right. Then we'll have a public content key. We will come back to that. Let's get the rest of this set up for. God, I think I'm drained from that bug today. Just the idea, I'm gonna have to tackle it tomorrow. Ugh. Alright, icon classes. Let me see something. Is there a generic icon for example? I I I need something that's gonna wake me up. Yeah, I do actually. So a couple that I recommend. I recommend Light Shot, so that you can just like screen copy things and circle where bugs are. I recommend JSON Formatter, which if you throw a JSON up here, it'll have it formatted. I also recommend Formfilla, which will pre-fill forms. And then there's some accessibility ones that I recommend, like Axe and Wave, if you're trying to test for accessibility. That'd be where I would start. How's your Thursday going? It's going all right, man. I'm running on empty, to be honest with you. What are some basic web dev? I mean, if you can know HTML, CSS, and build a responsive website, you can go get an internship. It just really depends how ready you want to be. But if I say, what do you need for a front-end role? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a front-end framework, Git. That'd be the bare bones minimum for a junior level front-end role. But really depends on how far up the tree you're trying to go to get started. Alright, cool. Alright. Now that we've done that, I need to do a little bit of research real quick. So, I think there's something else other than NG content. What about backend? It completely depends on what sort of backend you go for. Alright, that's not too bad. So what we want to do for our vertical tabs component is let's go back to our tab content. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that we're going to use vertical tabs for more than one sort of style. So we want to set it up properly. So let's go into enums. So we'll create a new file here. Call it dynamic dash components. Yes. All right. Let me look. I'm gonna pull this article up over here. All right. So let's say that we wanted to, if I understand this correctly, all right. So what do we want to inject in here? Well, let's just start with tabs. So we have our tab and we have our label. All right, let's get our tab item and our icon classes. And I think the rest of this is going to be scrapped. All right. Yeah, we're gonna inject this dynamically. Dynamic components.ts. Export enum dynamic components. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay. Stop thinking about it. All right, so we've done title, and what we're going to also do here is tabs. And our tabs is going to have an array of objects. And honestly, now that I think about it, let's go to our data here for JavaScript. So we have our books. We have our topics. After topics, we're going to have our tab. We'll call it tabs. This will be an array. And in here, this will be an array of arrays, because we could have multiple tab items. Yeah, so in here we'll have a new tab. So it could be more. And in here would be a label. let's just say we called it simple. Oh, it's more complicated than that, cuz. Alright, let me close this. Because what's going to happen? Yeah. Alright. Yeah. We'll probably have to write a nested class for this. Alright, so we're gonna have this is what our data model is gonna look like. It's gonna have some sort of string with an example. And then we'll have tab items, which will be an array. And in tab items, we'll have a new tab. And there'll be a label. And that'd be something like simple. And there'll be another label. Another new tab. And that will be something like advanced. And now let's go to Font Awesome real quick. Grab some icons. Alright. Ugh. Dude, by the way, Thursday gets here, dude. My brain is always fried. Alright, cool. So now that we've done that, let's go and create another model. It'll be quick. It's gonna be called tab container. In here we'll have a public title, a string, and then we'll have a public tab items, which will be an array of tabs. Oh man. All right. All right, so we got one new tab container. Cool. And we'll jump back to our category component. And in here, we'll have an array of tab containers. And here, tab containers. And one day closer to the weekend, stay strong. Yeah, man. But that's the thing, man. Why do we have to stay strong till the weekend, right? Why is that? Do you know? Because I don't know. I don't know why we have to stay strong. I don't know, man. Alright, tab containers. Sorry, I forgot. Alright, category.tab containers. Alright. Cool, so I think we got that there. That should be all set up. And now, what we should have here. Let's go ahead and this is actually going to have ng4 on it. So, give it a class of tabs, or tab. And then outside of here, let's actually just make this an article. And each one of these is a section. Yeah. Alright, and then this is ng4. Let tab container of tab containers. All right. Do you ever get tired of Angular? I get tired of everything, man. What was I looking for? Oh, localhost. All right. All right, so localhost 4200. Let's see what our error is. Something's blowing up. Nothing's blowing up, huh? Alright, let's see. Are we getting our tab contain? Oh. Damn, still not. Well, that might have been it. Counter property length of undefined. All right. So let's jump back to our category. It looks like somewhere our data mapping is wrong. Looks like it's wrong right here. Tab containers. The reason we have this JSON version is just because we don't have a I haven't built a backend yet. I will though. Ah, cool. So we're getting our one tab as expected, or our one tab container as expected. And then in here also, we're going to have a class. Let's do ng class. In here, be an array, and we'll say tab. Oh no, we're not. There's no class there. All right, so now we got our li. So li, we're gonna throw a ng4 on that. Let tab item of tab container dot tab items, and in here I believe it was a label, tab item label. Cool. All right, now we've done that. In front of this, in front of this, we'll have all right. So before we go any further, let's build out a little bit of this so it doesn't look like hot garbage, right? So we will go to our CSS, and our header here will be like a h3. Looks about right. All right, so we'll have our article. In each one of these sections, we will say, I give it a class tab, so we don't need to do that. So we'll say our header here, and then we'll have UL. We'll style the LI, so I imagine. All right, so this is a general structure. So our section will be a display of grid. We'll give it a background dash color of let's see here. Let's go ahead and steal this out of here. Cool. Throw that at the top. And we want that background color to be I think it's just this one. Alright, cool. And we want this color to be white. All right. Now that we've done that, we'll make our LI color green by default. Doesn't look too bad. Make the LI and the I green by Alright. And now in our so we will need a div here. Because then we're gonna have our div of h2 some dynamic content, something like that, right? All right, so on our header, one second here, I'm trying to think how I want to do this. So we're gonna have some dynamic content over there. I'll just give this an ID equal to content. Is it awkward having roommates? I've had roommates the majority of my life. It's not awkward for me. It's less awkward when you own the house. So I don't feel the need to be quiet or do anything out of the normal. But no, it's not awkward for me. All right. So what we'll do here is on the I, we'll do just do a margin dash right of 10 pixels. Get a little space in there. Cool. And on the UL, display of grid, we'll do a grid dash gap. I don't know. Let's say 20 pixels, something. What if we put an HR right here? Is this Angular? Yeah. Alright, and in our ID content, we have a grid dash template columns. We'll say that's 200 pixels and 1 FR. I was expecting this to shift over here. Let me go. Right, some more custom CSS. It's time consuming. Yeah. You're getting better though, I bet. Oh, I know what the issue is. We're gonna make this a grid element. Yeah. There we go. I dropped out of college today to work more on myself and at my job. I got a promotion. I'm going to grind out projects from our portfolio. This stream is motivation. Keep going. Hey, man. Well, good luck with everything. It's not an easy thing to do. What do you guys think if we did this? Woo, baby, look at that. Are you awake yet? Glad you like it, Lucas. Is that too... I mean... It's spicy. I don't know if it's the right type of spice. Yeah, that's a little, that might. I'm all for the spicy, but that might be a little bit too much spice. I don't know yet. Let's see. So after I get done building something, I always ask for a UI UX review with Ricky. We'll see what he says, man. All right, so Next thing I want to do is put an active class on one of these. I was also thinking, what do you think about, we could just try blue real quick. That's a little less in shock. There's also, we could do like orange. I could also just do black and white and I could figure out an icon. I'm gonna go with blue. That was a little bit better. And then what we'll do is when an li all right, so we'll add a and dot is dot active. You want out, Tito? Yeah, you stink. All right. All right, so on load, we're gonna want to have our vertical tabs. Oh no! This is why I needed to create. So I was thinking earlier about like, oh well. Alright. I was thinking earlier like, this feels weird. Like each one of these are kind of their own separate containers, but they're not their own element. Why am I not treating them as their own element? And now I have to juggle their state. So we'll. Oh my god, I'll have to fix that. But basically what I wanted to do is, we'll see what it looks like here. We say class dot is dash active will be equal to selected tab. Before we do that, we gotta create our tab now. So new folder, tab. Actually, new folder components. Rename tab dash items. Because remember, this is iterating through multiple ones, so we got multiple tabs. All right, so we're gonna create a tab item component now. All right. Almost there. All right, so now what we have to do is jump back to, how's everyone doing today, man? Almost there. All right, so we have our vertical tabs component, which then, if we go here, this is really our container. All right, so when we get to the ng4, it will still be a section. All right, yeah. And then here in the content, this is where we need to actually gut it. And instead, we will have a app-tab-items. You doing great, Brandon? Good, man. Excuse me. Wrong section. All right, so instead, let's just make this a section. Make this div a section. Get rid of that. All right. So somehow we broke a little bit of our layout. So let's go see what we did. There shouldn't be any more content. I think I'm going to restart this. Tests are launched. This is launched. Where is it getting an ID equal to content? Alright, so there's only... I might not have saved that file. Don't judge me, alright? Alright, Alright, cool. So what we want to do now is on initialization, we want this simple tab to be selected. We're going to come back to this in just a second. All right. So let's go to our tab item class. Alright, let's say public is active as a boolean. It's active is false by default. And let's say this dot is active equals defaults dot is active. Alright. Alright, now that we've done that, let's go to our item component. So right, so what we want to do is select the very first tab. So, on init, we will say tab items. Excuse me. On init, this dot tab items 0 dot is active is equal to true. And we'll say this imp else on init. Cool. So that's white. We want the did I put that on one item? I might have only put that on one. We need to dirty up our code. We should be able to do. Yeah, I'll just dirty it up. I don't care right now. I'm tired. We just. We do this actually. We do tab item dot is active. If that's true, return is dash active, else empty string. I think I'll do it, or I'll completely break one or the other. Temple parsers. Alright, cool. That did it. Use our ng class we're already using. I don't know what happened there. Let's go relaunch. Alright, so that's it by default. But what we want to do is we want to first try a test for this, right? So let's get our component set up. Alright, so that's our test. That should work just fine. Do anyone here play Kingdom Hearts 3? I started it right when it came out and I dropped it. But I was thinking about playing through it again. Or trying to continue it on. I got bored really, like, literally I did like the Hercules level. And I just was bored. Just, none of it made any sense. Also, another thing that we want to do is on our isActive, we want to give it like a nice little blue border. Okay, so we're going to have to, instead of the grid gap, let's go back to our CSS real quick. Instead of grid gap, we'll simply have an LI. That gives us a padding about 15 pixels. Should look pretty close the same. Alright, cool. So now, our active class, do border dash right, 5 pixel solid blue, and that was supposed to be left. So do I want it touching? Why isn't it touching? It's because there's some dynamic content. So what we'll probably want to do is we'll have to probably tweak it once we actually inject dynamic content. Let's see here. Oh, it's the UL that has the margin. And let's actually do this. We'll do padding. Top, bottom, 20px, right. Alright. Now we should be able to do border dash left, 5 pixels solid blue. Cool. So then we will let it trigger on click. And what we'll also do is we'll give this a transparent border. We'll do that for both of these. And now let's define a function that it changes on click. God, everything always takes so much longer than I think it will. This is why they say, and like you ever read about like giving estimates, they always recommend that you give triple the amount of time. So I thought I'd be done in like an hour on this. We're about an hour and a half. And we haven't even injected the dynamic content yet. You know what we could do? Instead of even this. So we want to select the tab, and then we want to mark the other. Oh, you know what? We could probably remove the is active. I didn't even think about that. So instead of the is active, we just do something like tab item is equal to selected tab. What do we call it? Selected tab item? Yeah. We can probably remove that property. Select a tab item. And then when we click on it, we want to pass in selected tab item. Oh, excuse me. Pass in tab item. Doesn't look awful. Looks better than this dog shit this guy sent me. I wasn't too happy about that. The guy's been doing a good job, minus that. Alright, cool. Alright, I think we're going to... Alright. Is that my big boy? My big boy? Oh, the gator. The gator. Come here. Oh, big papa. The big boy. Oh. How you doing? Where's the belly rub? Oh. Came to give Daddy a break. You want a water bottle? I let my dog chew on our water bottles. At least for $5, yeah. I know. He's done a good job for the most part. So, what do you think about doing? I know for $5 you really can't complain, right? So, what if we did a border dash right 1px solid black. It's not black though, it's for $5 it actually sticks that add some colors. Yeah. Yeah. He loves tearing the paper off, and he shreds it, man. Absolutely shreds it. I started giving them to him like this week, and now like I leave like half drunk water bottles on the floor, but he keeps on trying to chew them, so I gotta pick them up. He hasn't realized the difference between an empty one and a partially drank one. Alright, sorry, I was looking for something. Just testing some stuff here, man. Alright, let's see how this looks. I don't think it looks that bad. We could definitely get some padding on there. Yeah, no, I think we're good without it though. I do think I want to make this a little bit, maybe give it a little bit more space. So make it like 250 pixels, which means we need to update this over here, which is a bad design on my part. Probably want to put that in a variable. Alright, cool. So, did I write a... So we got our tabs and we got our content, which is going through here. Now we have to dynamically inject some content here. It's just going to be interesting. I wonder what it would look like with a transition property on it. Alright, so now that we've done that, we have our vertical tabs, which is really tab items container. That's not even right then, that even shouldn't even be a section. Anyhow. All right. what? We gotta fix our test. So instead of doing this, we want selected tab item is equal to this dot tab items 0. What exactly am I working on this exact moment? A vertical tab selection. That's going to dynamically inject content. It should be the same item. All right. Alright, and let's go back to here. Tab, we'll take is active off here. Take is active off here. Right now I'm trying to fix my test and add some new ones. So we have to add a test for this. Expected function. Oh! That's what I was going to put the function call in there. Alright, cool. So now we've done that, let's go ahead and write a test that it updates tab on click. No, Gator. He just goes to my trash can and pulls some out. You got one. You can still work on that. Let's see. What was I doing? Component dot selected tab item. Answer tab. Insert. Expect. Component dot select tab item. To be answer tab. And then while we're at it, let's go ahead and make this a little bit stricter. Component dot select a tab item equals null. All right, big boy. It failed. I did the same thing, except I did it backwards this time. We can actually make this stricter. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and do a commit. I think this is a good spot to do it. So we have not only tested it, but we've added some of this. Now, the last part of this, we need to dynamically inject content right here into the view. I'm still not quite sure how we want to do that. And I'm debating if I want to make these collapsible, so you could collapse them. So we'll see. I'm thinking we're going to. I think these are going to be collapsible, which we could do right now if we wanted. Wouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's do the dynamic content first. All right, so real quick, let's push this. Doing dynamic components requires a little bit of setup, to say the least. Alright. New folder, dynamic. Let's rename this to dynamic content. Alright. So we're going to follow this guy's lead here. There we go. All right, so the general idea is we're going to inject a view child, and this is where it's going to get injected to. All right. This is going to implement on init and on destroy. And then the component factory resolver. Oh my god, this is... I worked with a colleague who did this a while back, and I remember looking at it then and thinking like, how did someone figure this out? And why is this so much harder than it needs to be? We'll clean this up once we get it working, and we'll just. So let's what's a good thing in category that we can use? Let's just use we'll use resources. So this is a type, right? All right, cool. All right, and then we have our return this dot type, and then the component ref. Private property, which is the reference to the component. All right, the next thing that we need to do is in our category module here, you have to have this thing called entry components, which basically says you're giving the okay to dynamically inject components. And so we'll say resources component. And we also need to add a dynamic content component there. All right. And while we're at it, let's go. That's fine. All right. Launch that, and then in resources. How did we pass data? Is it contacts? That's right. Oh my God. Let's go to, let's just go to category. Better yet, let's go to, and then we'll put, app-dynamic content. Alright, cool. So it didn't blow up so far. Now, in here, we're going to have a type, which needs to match our mappings. Remember our mappings? So, what was our mappings for this? Which was our resources component. Cannot read property create component of undefined. That should have worked. Alright, so that didn't blow up that time, but let's just use something here because it's not showing up. I think it's because there's no context. We'll just put a H1 and put hello world. There it is. Dynamically injected content. Alright, so what we have to figure out next is how do we get the context to that. So now that we're able to do that, we have to be able to pass the inputs to it dynamically. All right. So dynamic content component. So let instance. So, and then here we'll say at, and let's see what happens to the console.log. This dot context. All right. Undefined. So context is undefined, which means let's look at, let's see where we, oh, little puppy. Does mama know you're up here? Come here, Lily. She's not supposed to be up here, but I'll show you guys. I'll show you my little lady off. What are you doing? You say hi? Oh, get it. Let me make sure she goes downstairs. She's not fully potty trained yet. Downstairs. Down. Down. Okay. Alright, so let's see if we can get the context working. So I'm pretty sure what we do, if I was a betting man, I would be betting that we are going to attach context like this, save it, and then context, in our case, we'll pass in an object. It'll be something like title, and we'll put hello world. I am a betting man. As a betting man, oftentimes you lose good money. Alright, so you can see that we passed our title through. And it got it, so we're not completely off we're not completely off the reservation, as people say. But what we need to do now is, I think, so I don't want to have to say context.this, context.that everywhere. So how? So what we need to do in here, somehow convert our context. I got it. All right, so I bet this is what's happening. So I bet if we did something like this, and we did context dot title, we would get it, right? All right, yes. All right, so what we have to do is make our instance as an any, and we will say this dot component instance is equal to new type. Alright, so I have to figure out how to use generics, because that's what we need to do here. Alright, how much time do we got? About 5 minutes to use generics. Big boy! The biggest boy! Oh, we're so close. Alright, so what we need to do is TypeScript create generic class. Generic TypeScript. Alright, I'm not going to figure out this, but we're close, so we're almost there. We're injecting the dynamic content, which is cool, and all we have left to do is create a generic curation step so that we can pass in the... are we there yet? Never. So that we can pass in the content dynamically. But we have the inputs going. I just don't want to have to use context everywhere, so we just have to see how we can use generics to instantiate it, and then we can assign it to that instance like we would expect normally, and everything will work really good. So with that being said, guys, that's it for today. We're about at our 2-hour goal here. And if you liked what I'm doing and you want to support me and you want to ace those front-end technical interviews, check out the latest course I've released, the 100 Front-End Interview Questions Challenge, which has a perfect score on Udemy. You can get it for $10. Use coupon code CodingGod. The link will be in the description below. As always, I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.